What's going on, guys? It's your boy Burrow77 back at you with another UCL preview. We have PSG taking on Arsenal. I apologize, this video is coming out so late. I will be sure to make it short and sweet here and move quickly. Hell of a day yesterday / today when I'm recording this. Awesome finish. That Inter Barcelona match couldn't have been any better. We had another 6-goal thriller with some extra time. Did not make it into PKs, but Inter advances. Forza Inter, Puto Barca. Let's fucking go. It also helps that we clean swept some baseball Ks over in the Discord / on Twitter. So if you check that out, it's been an absolutely electric night of sports. Let's get moving on this UCL preview for tomorrow before we do the next live show. Before we jump into breaking down the big board, I do think it's important to note that Arsenal played their entire starting 11 over the weekend in the EPL at home versus Bournemouth and did end up losing 1-2. Whereas PSG rested 10 out of 11 starters over the weekend, the only exception being João Neves. They did lose as well, but you can see the difference in why. Dembele is doubtful for PSG, but was at training this week, so we will need the starting 11 to see whether or not he is going to play. Odegaard and Timber are both dealing with some knocks here for the Gunners. Arteta and Rice have been talking to the media a lot, and all I gotta say is if you want to chirp, you better back it up. No excuses. PSG are at home in this one in France, in the Parc des Princes, where they are significantly stronger. Because we got a 6/7 goal thriller in Italy with Barcelona and Inter, I say that I believe this one's going to regress, but I'm not 100% sure. I really like some of the numbers we're seeing here. PSG on the money line at home, plus 115 is an awesome number. The both teams to score number is a little long at like minus 165, minus 170. The over 2.5 isn't bad here at minus 138. Again, we are coming off a game that ended 1-0 with PSG winning away and being up 1 goal on aggregate. So again, I don't want to say that one thing dictates the other, but it wouldn't surprise me if this one was a little bit lower scoring. That said, I think there's really good value on both teams to score plus over 2.5. You can find that at plus 100 over on Caesars if you like goals here. And I do like PSG at home. If you're not going to play their money line, I would recommend looking at their team total over 1.5 at minus 108. I know even with if Dembele is not playing, I think there's plenty of firepower here between Doye, Barcola, Special K, Kenyon Lee, Giancarlo Ramos. There's just a lot of guys here, a lot of firepower for PSG. They're going to keep pushing forward. They're going to keep attacking. And we also saw that they can defend really well, too. They did it against Liverpool and kept a clean sheet there and scored a nice goal on a counterattack. So I do like lean PSG and like a lot of their numbers more than I do Arsenal's for sides and totals, but Arsenal have some exceptional value when it comes to player props. So let's take a look. These are predicted starting 11s. I know I've said that I'm not the biggest fan of Trossard, but he did have an effective game last game. We are getting some really nice numbers on both Martinelli and Saka as well. So I'm looking right at Martinelli for a shot on target plus 100 over on DraftKings, as well as Saka shot on target at minus 145 on DraftKings. Trossard's numbers are a little bit shorter. They do have him priced pretty accurately here as a center forward, even though it's not his natural position. It's just what he's been playing. So, yeah, the prices do kind of reflect that of him being the main striker here for Arsenal. So, little bit better number on the wings with Martinelli and Saka. Again, I did say Odegaard is dealing with a bit of a knock. I also just haven't loved what Odegaard's been doing shooting-wise. I did look at his shots and shot on target, decided not to add it to the list. I think if Odegaard gets involved, it's been because of his passing ability and his potential for an assist. So if you're looking at Arsenal stuff and you're wondering why I didn't touch on Odegaard, it's because if you think they're going to contribute goals. I think Odegaard's best look is probably an assist. So that's where I'm at with that one. As far as PSG is concerned, it's the same guys I've been talking about the entire time for PSG. Hakimi is my motherfucking dog. I'm going to take his shot on target every time he starts. He's plus 155 over on FanDuel. I really, really like Doye. I think he's been very special. I think he's elite. Doye shot on target at minus 140 over on Caesars. I also don't hate his over 1.5 shots on target at home here in France at plus 380 on FanDuel. Again, that's going to kind of depend on what they're looking to do here. PSG, I think if you get a goal early and you're up 2-0 on aggregate, like let's say they score in the first half, I think we do look, I don't want to say take their foot off the gas because they're so good at the counter, but I do think we see them sit a little further back and concern themselves less about possession and putting up shots and volume as opposed to grinding out the clock a little bit more. So the other ones I obviously like are Special K to score or assist. Kvaratskhelia has been playing super well, coming over from Napoli. He's a kid that I've rated highly since he broke out with Napoli. It was a shame Napoli couldn't make it work, especially if they're going to be back in the UCL. They couldn't make it work with Osimhen and him, but that's a whole different can of worms, what's going on with Napoli. Anyway, Special K to score assist, plus 120 over on FanDuel, looking really nice. Again, Doye to score or assist is something I'm looking to go back to at plus 160 over on FanDuel. And if Arsenal does something, I think it's going to have to come from Saka. He takes a bunch of their corners. He's involved in their set pieces. He gets out on the wings. He finds people open in front of the box, guys like Trossard, guys like Odegaard, guys like Martinelli to finish balls. So I like Saka's to score assist. We are thinking Arsenal get on the board here. I like his goal involvement at plus 170 over on FanDuel. One of the last things I want to talk about is I've done it a bunch. I forgot to mention it last week, but my boy, the notorious bot, aka Suspendo Fernandez from Twitter, reminded me that I've been high on Marquinhos shot slash headed shot on target a bunch. Marquinhos is back in the lineup. He was suspended for a game, which is why I didn't talk about him for 2 weeks in a row. But anyway, Marquinhos shot plus 110 on FanDuel. Big, tall Brazilian, gets up, gets on headers. Backline guy here for PSG. So Marquinhos is another guy I frequently look at in this lineup. He's not in here, but Zaire Emery is another guy I really like. If I see him sub on, I might bet him just to take a shot, depending on what the score line is. And last but not least, I like the overcards here. Arsenal facing elimination if they get down, and this is a low-scoring battle of a game. I expect cards to fly kind of for both teams here, but primarily whichever team might not advance. I think you might see some frustration challenges and some late cards. Over 4.5 cards, as we saw last game, that had 4 cards rather quickly. That seems like a low number, and you are getting plus 110 on DraftKings. I personally can't bet that on DraftKings here in Michigan, so I will be using BetUS. And if you guys need a sports book, BetUS is and I are partnered. You can find a 125% deposit match down here in the video description. So be sure to check that out, as well as links to the Discord, as it says right below me. Check those out. $15 a month for mine. We talk Champions League. We talk MLB. I was watching the NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, had some great games, absolutely fantastic Monday night of sports. So would always appreciate the additional support and having you guys over there in the Discord to shoot the breeze and talk sports as well. The thing you can do for me for free is please be sure to like and subscribe right here on youtube.com/@BurOaks772. Like I said, we will be going live again tomorrow right around 2:15 to go over this game with official starting 11s and lock in some bets. So we will be doing that. If you are subscribed, it costs you nothing. It helps me out a shit ton. It's how I am able to generate revenue from YouTube. So please be sure to subscribe. You'll get notified and all of that nice stuff. Again, costs you nothing, helps me out a ton. So yeah, youtube.com/@Burrows772. So as always, until next time, I look forward to seeing you at the window. Oaks out, doses. We outside.